All right, today we are diving into one of the weirdest, most common feelings you can have, déjà vu. You know that feeling, right? You walk into a room or you're just talking with a friend and bam, it hits you. This super weird, almost spooky feeling that you have lived this exact moment before. It's powerful and it's strange. Yep, that's déjà vu. It's French for already seen. But what's actually going on inside your head when that happens? So, people have been trying to figure this out for ages. You hear all sorts of things: past lives, psychic moments, maybe a dream you forgot you had. But the real answer? It's probably not so mystical. It's actually all about our brains. I mean, who hasn't thought of the Matrix, right? A glitch in the Matrix. It's a great way to think about it, but science tells us it's probably more of a glitch in our own system. A really cool but totally normal trick of the mind. Okay, so to really get this, we've got to look inside the brain. Let's define what déjà vu really is, and just as importantly, what it isn't. And here's the key thing, the part that makes it so weird. It's a total paradox. It's not just this feels familiar, it's this feels familiar at the exact same time that you know for a fact that it's completely new. You feel it, but you know it can't be true. And hey, if this has happened to you, you are definitely not alone. We're talking 60 to 70% of healthy people experience this. So now, it's not a sign something's wrong. It's actually a pretty common quirk of a normal, healthy brain. So let's just quickly recap the key things here. 1, it's a feeling of remembering, not a real memory. 2, you know the situation is new, even while you're feeling it. And 3, it seems to happen most when we're younger, like in our late teens and early 20s, probably because our brains are still wiring everything up. Okay, so scientists have actually narrowed down where this all goes down in the brain, the temporal lobe. Now, this is your brain's memory headquarters. And the fact that déjà vu kicks off right there, well, that's a massive clue about what's happening. All right, so we know the where. Time for the big one. The why. Why does this happen? Well, there are a few really interesting scientific theories about this little brain glitch. So, if it's not a real memory, what's causing that intense feeling? Let's jump into the top theories. Okay, theory number 1 is the big one: dual processing failure. Just think about it like this. Your brain is constantly doing two things at once. It's taking in what you see and hear right now, and at the same time, it's checking its memory files to see if any of it is familiar. Normally, those two things happen in perfect sync. But with déjà vu, there's a tiny little hiccup, a split-second delay. The familiarity signal basically jumps the gun. It gets to your consciousness a millisecond before the what's actually happening signal. So your brain gets this feeling of, I remember this, just before it processes the event as new. And that's what creates that bizarre paradox. All right, theory number 2 is all about divided attention. You know, when you're super tired or distracted by your phone, well, your brain is still kind of half watching the world, even when you aren't paying full attention. So picture this. You walk into a cafe, but you're looking down at your phone. Your brain, in the background, takes a quick, blurry snapshot of the place. Then you put your phone in your pocket and actually look around, and suddenly, whoa, it feels weirdly familiar. Why? Because your brain already did a quick pre-scan a second ago. You just weren't consciously aware of it. And then there's theory 3, which might be the simplest of all, the misfiring signal. I mean, our brains are just these incredibly complex networks of electrical signals, right? Well, sometimes a wire just gets crossed for a split second. A signal that's supposed to go to the brand new experience folder accidentally gets sent to the old memory folder. It's just a tiny, harmless little communication breakdown in your brain's wiring. So you can see, déjà vu probably isn't some message from a past life or another dimension. It's actually way cooler than that. It's like a little window that lets us peek into how amazing, and sometimes a little bit glitchy, our own minds are. So, next time it happens to you, don't freak out. The world isn't broken. Just take a second and appreciate it. It's a pretty cool reminder of the incredible, complex machine you have running inside your skull. What this all tells us is pretty deep, actually. It shows that our memory system is unbelievably complex. It proves that the feeling of familiarity is a totally separate thing from an actual memory. And really, it's a harmless reminder that our brains, for all their genius, aren't perfect. And that's okay. That's part of what makes them work. And that leaves us with one last, kind of mind-bending question to chew on. If a tiny little brain glitch can completely change our perception of reality just for a second, what does that say about consciousness itself?
what are we really experiencing from moment to moment? Now that's something to think about.